We shift our focus to Prime Minister's Ukraine visit, viewers, and as we speak, we'll get you the latest visuals that are coming in from Kyiv, where the Prime Minister is meeting members of the Indian community and also the delegates right now. He received a rousing welcome today when he reached Kyiv in that special train. As you can see, those visuals came in. The delegates welcoming Prime Minister Modi in Kyiv. It's a grand welcome for the Prime Minister. It's a historic visit, the first ever by an Indian Prime Minister, signaling a subtle shift in India's foreign policy, you can see. And Prime Minister Modi had arrived not via the air route, but of course this was the Force 1 train. You can see him deboarding that train, Force 1 train, as there is a war that is underway between Ukraine and Russia. And the airspace, of course, it's one of the most luxurious trains, remember, viewers, in the world, the train Force 1. But all airports in Ukraine are closed due to the Russia-Ukraine war. The train route is considered the safest option right now, and that's what the Prime Minister had taken. You can see visuals of him meeting and greeting the delegates. And the Prime Minister will also be holding talks with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy in a short while from now. And many issues will be on the agenda. Of course, peace is the focus, and also the trade ties between the two nations. And it's a first visit, viewers, by an Indian Prime Minister. And it's a diplomatic push for global peace, viewers. And Prime Minister Modi, remember, just weeks ago in July, had visited Moscow, and it had drawn sharp reactions from the United States, from Volodymyr Zelenskyy himself. And now we have him meeting the Prime Minister. He had invited the Prime Minister to Kyiv. Shravan Sen, a senior editor, joins us from on the broadcast from the newsroom. Shravan, as we speak, we're getting the visuals of the Prime Minister meeting the delegates, and in a short while from now, we'll see him holding talks with Volodymyr Zelenskyy as well.
Well, that's expected to begin in a short while from now. He has already reached the venue. Remember, the Prime Minister had reached Kyiv around 10:30 this morning. Remember, it's undoubtedly a tough task for world leaders right now to reach Kyiv, because remember, they have to take the special train from Warsaw all the way to Kyiv, the same train that has been taken by several world leaders who have visited Ukraine. Now, why this visit becomes extremely important, crucial at this point in time, and perhaps even the Ukrainians are essentially looking forward to. The reason being that he's got the unique distinction of being the only leader who's already met President Putin and thereafter meeting President Zelenskyy. All this while, remember, most of the world leaders who have sided with the Ukrainians have had very little in talks in common with Russia, and that is the reason why perhaps Prime Minister Modi finds himself in a much more unique position, and hoping that he would be in a position to deliver certain solutions. The precursor to this visit was in Poland. Remember, he happens to be the first Prime Minister in 45 years to have visited Poland, and in Warsaw, after meeting his counterpart, Donald Tusk, he's also sent out a very strong message that India is willing to do everything that is possible to bring a resolution between Russia and Ukraine. There have been several, sort of negotiations that have taken place from the time the conflict actually began, but none of them essentially made any headway, particularly keeping in mind that Russia has rejected those talks simply on the grounds that they have not been taken on board. Recently concluded peace summit in Switzerland was also trashed by Russia, saying that they did not even receive the invitation. So that summit does not hold any value. Having said that, Prime Minister essentially sending across a message right from the time that he met President Putin in Samarkand, where he first said that this is not an era of war, and that actually found a resonance among the Western countries too, and that's something that has been quoted many a times in several multilateral forums. The Prime Minister once again setting the tone by simply saying that no solutions can be found on the battlefield. So that sets the tone for the meeting between President Zelenskyy and Prime Minister Modi. It remains to be seen whether at all there would be any sort of announcement that has been made by both the leaders after that talks that are going to take place in the next few hours. The Prime Minister would also be focusing on revamping perhaps the trade talks with Ukraine, because you've seen as far as the trade talks, trade relations are concerned, before the war it was roughly hovering around $3 billion, and it has substantially reduced since the conflict actually began. And that is one of the reasons why the Prime Minister would also be looking forward to resuming those very talks. India has undoubtedly played a crucial role in several cases. One, the grain deal. That's another aspect where India played a pivotal role. You've already heard the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, saying that whatever is required from India, India would be doing that in order to bring a resolution between both sides.
Absolutely, Shravan. Of course, lots on the agenda. Thank you so much for joining us right now on that development, and of course the pending meeting between the Prime Minister and President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Viewers, and let's take a listen into reactions that are coming in from the Indian community in Ukraine. Listen in.
मैं आज यहाँ पे आया हूँ, ये हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी यहाँ पर आए हैं। मैं उनको प्राउड, उन्होंने हमें प्राउड करवाया है कि प्राउड टू बी इंडियन, एंड मैं और यहाँ एक्साइटेड हूँ बहुत देखने के लिए। और ये जो मीटिंग है आज की, जैसे हमारे नरेंद्र मोदी जी की जो फर्स्ट डे से हमारा एम जो था उनका वॉर को स्टॉप करवाना है, और मैं अगर मेरी चांस अभी मुझे मिला तो मैं इसी टॉपिक पे बात करूँगा।
मैं भी जयपुर से आया हुआ हूँ, काफ़ी दूर से हम लोग ट्रेवल करके आए हैं स्पेशली हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर से मिलने के लिए, और काफ़ी एक्साइटेड है हम लोग इस चीज़ के लिए, क्योंकि अगर हम इंडिया में रहते तो शायद मुश्किल होता शायद मोदी से इतना नज़दीक से देखने का और मिलने का, बट यहाँ एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि हम उनको बहुत पास से देखेंगे, और हो सकता है अगर बात करने का मौका मिला तो बात कर लेंगे।